Hi there, it's Mary with Mary's Stampin' Cafe. Thanks for stopping in at my Saturday stamping video. I would like to say hashtag Satmore Makes, where you can see all sorts of wonderful people crafting on Saturdays. And hashtag Two Crafters One Design is another hashtag that you can see a theme that goes on each week. And for this week, Melissa of Mo's Creation has had the week be flowers. And so it is a wonderful time to be crafting. Spring is on its way. And so before I get started, if you're not a subscriber, please click that subscribe button and a like, and I would appreciate that so very much. There are so many new wonderful products with Stampin' Up! From new online exclusives. I had a YouTube live yesterday that shared some new online exclusives, and these kits, there's two brand new kits that are part of those online exclusives. There is the Marytime Moments and the beautiful, let me remember, I want to say this one correctly, Welcoming Garden Kit. I'm going to talk about both of these kits today and why I love kits. You know, we're all very busy, but sometimes we also don't have a lot of supplies and crafting supplies. And so getting yourself a kit where everything you need is right in the box is fantastic. So let's talk about this Marytime Moments. And what I love about this is we're getting into that spring and summer season with Father's Day and wanting some masculine cards. So this kit is fabulous for that. One of the things to remember on Stampin' Up's kits, when they come, if it is a kit that has a stamp set, it will come with an acrylic block. It comes with mini glue dots. It comes with dimensionals, all of those things that you need to complete your cards. There's twine, there's some tear and tape there, and look at these beautifully designed panels already done for you. So that's another reason I like kits. It's quick crafting where lots of the work has been done for you, and maybe you're going to be stamping a sentiment or things like that. We've got some great textured panels here, and oh, our pelican sitting on the wood pier there. We have our anchor, we have some sea life there, and then we take a look at our beautifully grained cards here. Stampin' Up! Always puts things in an order for how you would put together your kit. Beautiful textured card bases, so beautiful, and some more scenes. So I'm going to take all of my scenes and those pieces and set them aside here, and then all of our sentiments. The card bases, I'm going to take one of each because I'd like to make one of each of the cards with my Stampin' Saturday today, just to give you a preview. One of the things, if you've watched before, that I like to do is I like to cut apart my card bases to get more use out of my kits. And I will bring in coordinating cardstock for the base of the card and then use these as two layers on the card. And you can check out some of my other videos that share some of that with you, whether it's my Facebook Live uploads, replays, and look at our beautiful envelopes. So, so pretty. And they coordinate with the cardstocks. So let's go ahead and set that aside. And I am looking for looking for our stamp set inserts. You can put that in a stamp case. And then here are the beautiful instructions. I love the instructions on the kit because if you are not an avid crafter, you're maybe new to stamping and card making, these step-by-step instructions are fabulous. So I'm going to talk about the first card here with our beautiful textured waves. And then our stamp set, let's take a look at our beautiful stamp set here. If you can see that, we've got a pretty sailboat here. We've got some florals, birds, and a lighthouse. And it wants me to take the lighthouse stamp, so I'm going to grab that. This reminds me of the beautiful framed scenes that I used in my YouTube live last night. Has some beautiful nature scenes. And in this kit, you're getting a gray granite spot. I went ahead and pulled my gray granite full-size stamp pad for this. And I'm going to be stamping my lighthouse on our panel here. It's this panel right here, this one. And it says I'm going to stamp the lighthouse here in the distance. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll ink up this lighthouse with the gray granite. And it wants me to stamp it right here in the distance. There we go. There we are. So you can see that in the distance there behind all of the other houses and shrubbery. We've got that house here with the lighthouse. That's nifty. I like that. All right. So the instructions tell me that I'm going to go ahead and pull this piece right here. And that is going to be an accent piece to start giving some layers. And then this is going to come in. And do you notice the coloring of that Night of Navy is also here in the coloring of the ship and shadows of the ship. So nice. So then I'm going to bring in this piece right here. And I'm going to bring in the sentiment that says, "Celebrate the good life." And it's the S-A-I-L, celebrate. So we're going to have a setup like this coming right here. And that way, by using this little bit of the Cajun Craze lined piece, it's going to help that sentiment stand up on that. We're also going to grab our beautiful little sea greenery here, and that's also going to come up underneath right in here. So this is going to have lots of beautiful textures and elements, just like so. And that is what this first card's going to look like. Now, when you take a look at the instructions of your your kits, it shows what you're going to use for your adhesive. The little round filled-in dots are the mini glue dots. The other open are the dimensionals. They want you to use your tear and tape for the long strip. And it looks like this is just going to also get the tear and tape. So I do have my tape runner that I'm going to use. The tear and tape is a great adhesive strip. It's very strong. And I want this to be kind of out a little bit further there. All right. Now it wants me to use the dimensionals on here. I'm just going to grab my dimensionals I have on my table and not open the dimensionals that are in the package. Since I have lots and lots of supplies, but you can see when you get your mini glue dots, you get your dimensionals, you get the tear and tape for longer strips. feel each of those to know that I've taken them all off. Yes. Now this is going to line up right along here. Top and bottom, make sure you have it, and there we are. So that's raised up with dimensionals. You really want to use some sort of dimensionals or foam adhesives to help give depth to your card. Now I'm going to put this over here, which means I do need a dimensional right on the end of that if I'm using my tape. Because this panel is lifted up, I need to make sure that it is lifted right there. And before I put that down, let me grab my my little seagrass, and I'm going to give just a little dot. This is where the little mini glue dots would come in really great, is to use them on this because they're small and it has, there we are, and now I can put that down just like so. And then my sentiment, I believe it had the dimensionals as well to lift it up even more. One of the things about the kits too, you can start exploring creating your own layout and design. There we are, celebrate the good life. That is beautiful. And then you have your sentiment on the inside. Now think about, I'll have a blog on the other ones I create. I'm going to just do one of each. But think about how you can go ahead and cut this in half, trim this down a slight bit more, and then put it on a base of the crushed Cajun Craze card base. That would really make the card pop out even more. And so check out my blog maybe later in this week so you can see what I've done with that. All right, let's take a look at our next one. So with our next card, I'm going to be using our pelican. I'm going to be using the big round circle of the already designed pieces. Let me go ahead and get to that page. Says here that your pelican is going to be adhered with those raised dimensionals. I'm going to be stamping my little birds right here in the circle. I'm going to be using this sentiment panel, and I'm going to be using 3 of those beautifully textured pieces. So let's take a look here. This card is going to go horizontally. I'm going to use my pelican. I'm going to use the sentiment here. Best wishes for a perfect day. And I'm going to use this beautiful circled, large circle design for my scene. Oh, that's coming together so nicely. And then I need 3 of these strips. So in this kit, you're making 2 each of the 3 designs. You get your exclusive stamp set. You get dimensionals, you get twine, you get glue dots, you get a stamping block. And what's great about those blocks, you now have a block for a variety sizes of different stamps. Maybe you pick up stamps at a store, or you purchase a Stampin' Up stamp. I'm also going to be using some twine on this one here. It says a 14-inch strip of the twine, because that's going to get wrapped all around the wood of that. So let's get our twine. Sometimes I forget about that twine or the embellishment. I just get so excited about making the cards that. So this one is going to be 14 inches in length. It always gives you a measure. I tend to just eyeball it. I don't measure, but I will measure today. There we are. Cut that. Now it says it's going to wrap around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive right in that center, and then I can just take this and lay it down, and it's already adhered right there. and then I don't have to worry about it popping off. So I can just keep wrapping it around and wrapping it around and wrapping it around and wrapping it around. Wrapping it around. This is so much twine to go around here. So fun. And I'm getting to the end, and I'm going to stop there. I'm going to trip off a little bit there and then put this back down. But to glue it down here, I need a little bit more adhesive so it will stick to it. There we go. Now I went ahead and I did that. All wrapped around, super fun. I'm going to go ahead and put my dimensionals on the back of my pelican here. Got that here, here, and there. I'm not going to put it on the actual twine because it's already thick there, and I have just a little dimensional piece I'm going to have here for the pelican's head. And that's all I need there. So the next thing I'm going to do is get the birds so I can stamp the birds in the background. I love the stamps that have the birds. There's been several that Stampin' Up! Has had. So there's my gray granite again. Ink up those birds. They're going to come right there. You can see how nice that gray granite is on the background there. It's beautifully watercolored scene. Already done. Looks like $1,000,000. And so then this is also going to get the dimensionals to be raised up. I'll put 4 around, and then that 1 in the center, but I feel like I need right here, like it's gonna press down, and I don't want it to do that. So let's get the dimensional backs off. We'll be ready to put this down on the card base. Got it all. Oh, we're not ready to put it on the card base. I forgot about my beautiful strips. So these are put on with adhesive. You can use the tear and tape. Let me go ahead and grab the tear and tape so I can show you how that works. Tear and tape is basically a double-sided tape. You can just go ahead, put it down and tear, or you can kind of estimate about how much you need. You just go ahead and you put that down. I have a little bit too long here, so I'm just going to go ahead and tear it right off. That's why it's called tear and tape. Okay, and then you just use your stylus here to get it right up under the paper, and you pull it right off, and there you go. Now to put this on the card, I'm going to start in the center. Make sure my card is lined up and straight on my mat here, and then I can go ahead and put the center one down. The center one's going to just determine the distance between the other two. So there that is. I showed you on that tear and tape. So now just for timing and speed of recording, I'm going to go ahead and use my adhesive runner. But the tear and tape is quick, right? It was quick to use. One strip and it was great. So now this one will go over. Just make sure my gap there is small. And another right here then, and make sure my gap is kind of even with it. Not quite, but that's okay. This now can go down right here in the center. Just gives a nice transition between so that circle doesn't kind of fade into the background of the card. And then I'll go ahead and put down the seagull on the pillar there. And then we have our sentiment, and our sentiment is going to go here. right here with the pelican, I'm going to tuck it just like that. So part of it's just going to have adhesive because it's going to be on that circle that's underneath. And then the other part is going to need the dimensionals. So we'll put a couple right there on that side. See what I'm saying? It's going to tuck up under the pelican and be on the circle. And remember, the circle was raised up, so we don't want to add more. And that's going to come down just a little bit right there. And there we are. Best wishes for a perfect day. That's a second beautiful card. So let's take a look at the two of the kit so far. Beautiful. Those are really pretty. I love the soft watercoloring of these cards. All right, and then the last one is this nice and bright sailboat card. It is going to be a vertical card. And on here, I'm going to be using the greenery. I'm going to also be using a sailboat to stamp in the background. We're going to be using the anchor. And I see how they have that going. Now, this might be a place where I do a little bit of my own creativity. I'm not sure how I feel about that anchor up there. And that's the great thing about kits, right? You can do them however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back over. And the card that I'm going to be using on this one is the sailboat right here. So I don't need my large sailboat. Yes, I do, because it's going to go right over the one that's already stamped there and raised up with dimensionals. And that's going to give it that depth that it needs. Now, my anchor here. And then I'm going to use this greenery stamp. So let's grab that. And that is going to come up here like so, which is an interesting design. Let's move those aside. Guess it's just to give it some more texture, some more interest. And then I'm going to get the circle here, and it says "to a great guy." And that's going to be here. And I think that's great. Now this sailboat needs the dimensionals. Just kind of move some things here. So I will put dimensionals on the back of the sailboat. I know I'm going to raise up the sentiment as well. So the reason why Stampin' Up! Is having you put the sailboat on top of the one that's already stamped, one thing, technique to know, that if you're going to stamp an image and then raise it up with dimensionals, it's always good to have that image also stamped, because when you raise up something and you tilt it, you can then see the other underneath it. And so that's why they've done that. I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of this. I'm just going to give it 2. Now I'll give it 3. Use those dimensionals. I'll go ahead and put that on. And then I'll go ahead and stamp the little sailboat. In the background. And I have just used all of the stamps in the stamp set now on these 3 cards. And that's just going to come right in here next to the boat on the water. So we have that beautiful scene going on there. We have the raised up boat, the raised up thing. We have the sailboat in the background sailing along in the distance. And now I need to think about this anchor. They had the anchor hanging kind of off of this, and I'm not sure that I cared for it too much like that, but I wonder if I could just put this on the inside of the card. That's what I'm feeling. So this is going to get raised up with dimensionals also. Lots of dimension on these cards, which is great. You can step up any of your card making by just lifting up a sentiment, lifting up an image with some dimensionals or foam adhesive, whatever you may have. But especially in these kits, they give them to you, so you want to use them. And I'm going to get a little crazy. I would like to use some foam mounting strips on these because the long panel takes a long time to pop off all these little sheets. And you got to make sure you did not miss any, that's for sure. All right, so this is going to come right here, raised up. That's beautiful colors. I love that Cajun Craze. And I just don't feel like this anchor has a purpose unless I pop it right here. But I think I'm just going to put it on the inside of the card right here. I don't know, I just feel like there's just no room for the front, and I don't like hanging it off the top there and then blocking. So I'm just grabbing a little of my liquid glue. You could use your mini glue dots for this, and I'll go ahead and I'll put the anchor just right there. And there we have our anchor, and there's that beautiful card there. All right, so let's take a look at the 3 cards of this kit. And again, you get to create 2 of each of the card designs. The rest of my cards, I'm actually going to get several more cards. I can get 2 cards out of one design, but of course I won't have all these other parts and pieces. So that's when I would need to be designing using some of my own supplies. But here are those 3 for that Maritime Moments. I love the soft watercoloring that's been done. These are beautiful spring and summer colors. Lots of beautiful layers. The twine around that pillar is great. And then this one here, I do feel maybe it needs a little more something. Maybe a little of the twine would be okay. Coming out behind this would be a great idea. But this, I just put the anchor on the inside. So there is the Maritime Moments kit. Very nice. This all-inclusive kit, I believe, was a $21 kit that comes with the stamp set and all of the things you need to create these cards. I could double check that, and I'll put it down in the description on the actual price for that. It is in, if you just go to the online exclusives, they're the first things to pop up on that. You can also just go and look at the kits collection, because it there are card kits and then there are crafting kits, and so you can check out the different types of kits. But in these cards that I just created for you, I've used all of the stamps in the stamp set. The birds and the 2 different sailboat and the lighthouse, and then this beautiful floral piece. It's a 4-piece stamp set. Very nice. So let's go ahead and put these into the box for my future crafting, and then I'll show you the beautiful welcoming garden kit. This one, oh my goodness. Oh, the envelopes that we have for this, I would think that this one is going to go with the lighthouse card. This one, of course, will go with this beautiful base. And then we have this one. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. This one is going to go with this because of that blue strip, then coordinating with that. The Cajun Craze envelope with that one, and now this soft one here with that. That makes more sense. So there we are. I've got my envelopes with those cards ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this tear and tape in its bag with the twine. So I have all of my supplies to continue to work with for the other cards. There we go. So there's our 3 again, so you can see them. Those envelopes coordinate so nicely, don't they? I love it. Okay. So the next kit is the Welcoming Garden Kit. It is the second kit that's been newly released just a few days ago. Let's take a look at this one. I grabbed this as soon as I could. Can you see all of the dimension, these beautiful gardens and gates and the flowers? This fits so well with hashtag 2crafters1design and their theme for this week. And here again, now on this one, what you'll notice, you've got mini dimensionals. You again have your block. You have crumb cake spot. And then the stamp set is very interesting. We have a large fence with some grain detail. Then we have thinking of you today, just a note, and thanks, some standard basic sentiments for all occasions. Mostly the ones that we let people know when we're thinking of them, right? All right, so get all these little dimensional pieces aside. So we've got our mini dimensionals, we have tear and tape, we've got the block for our stamp set, and the block is the size that you would need for your largest stamp. And there we go. We've got a little bit of panels here. Look at these beautifully stamped envelopes. Who would not love to get some happy mail with that in their mailbox? Then we have, oh my god, oh wow, look at our card bases. This card base is stunning. And it's going to come over just like so. Look at how gorgeous that is. And it looks like you have spent hours creating that. So on this kit, you're going to making 3 of each of the designs. And the other card bases are all the same. You have some labels. You have some other pieces here. This is the fence that's already done for you, and you're going to be stamping your fence. And look at all of the stunning die-cut florals for you. And the beautiful fences here. So I'm telling you, this kit is going to fly off the shelves, and you will not be able to get it for a while. It's going to become out of inventory because it is stunning. And you really are not doing tons of work. It's already kind of been doing for you. So let's take a look at our very first card. That's this one right here. So let me set these others aside. And for this one, it's showing you how it's going to be turning in, and it's a tri-fold. It wants you to take one of the sentiment pieces. There's a little birdhouse and some little flowers that it wants you to have. So I'm going to go to that. This is the sentiment piece that I'm going to use, the label. And look how all of these labels have been shadowed. Just stunning. And then I need to get from here the little birdhouse. Because it's going to go on top of the birdhouse that's already here so that it can have some dimension and pop out. So we have the birdhouse. And then I need 3. I need the flower that is in already a pair. Hold on one second, let me separate this out. These are so cool. those are 2, and then I need the other 2. There we go. And these are all going to have dimensionals on them because they're going to lay on top of the ones that are already there so they have more dimension. So I'm going to lay those all upside down, and I will use the mini dimensionals for this. Let me put the other 2 aside. Now I have everything I need there except for the thanks that I need to stamp. And for this particular stamp kit, you have the crumb cake spot. And I'm just going to bring out my crumb cake large stamp pad. It's just easier for me than trying to open up the spot and all of that. I like using my spots when I go to retreats. It's less for me to have to take. So let's ink this up real well with our crumb cake. I'm going all over my crumb cake pad to get a nice color. It's probably about time for me to re-ink that. All right, and so now it's telling me that I'm going to have dimensionals on all those pieces, simply going to be putting them there where they need to be. So that is easy peasy. I'm going to just turn this over. Let's get the mini dimensionals because they will work perfect for these, and that's what they gave you in your kit. Mini dimensionals make easy work instead of having to cut down large dimensionals or cut down any other foam strip things you might have or foam adhesive sheets. Whoop! It has just 1 on the birdhouse, but I'm going to put 2 on the birdhouse. I just like things to be well secured. All right, so then we're going to bring this in. I'm going to go ahead and burnish the side there. I'm going to put down the thanks first. Oh my gosh, this card is just beautiful. Somebody would love to get this Happy Mail. Make sure that my dimensionals are not going to make this stick. And if it does, that's okay too. I don't mind it being stuck down a little bit like that. Okay. Especially when you burnish this side, it still wants to pop open. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is put the birdhouse down first. Right on top of the birdhouse that was stamped. Same thing going to happen with the flowers. We've got the double flower right here. Put that down just like so, and then 2 other flowers. That one right there. And this one right here. And I can't even begin to tell you how beautiful this card is. How beautiful is that? Now when you open this up, you can have your sentiment here. You could put a little panel cardstock right here to write your sentiment. That is just so beautiful. Oh, I missed something. See this right here? I just saw this. That is the wood paneling that you can put on each of your things to give them more dimension. You know what? I don't need it. Look how beautiful that is. Who would need that? But it's okay. You can add more dimension if you would like. I love that one. That's beautiful, but it's just going to get better, I think, you guys. So let's take a look at the next one. Oh, these kits are just beautiful. All right, so card number 1. Card number 2. I love this black gate. It reminds me of like an iron gate, and I think that's what it is. But look how intricate these die cut pieces are. This is a stunning, stunning piece. Now we need our beautiful cardstock. Now this again is where I might cut these in half and for future and just use them as layers and bring in some other bases. I'm not going to do that on this because it is just beautiful. So now when I look at this, it wants me to do some stamping of that wood grain on the card front. There's just a note is going to be on one of the things there. I'm going to be using this beautiful greenery here. And then I'm going to be adding a bunch of the flowers. I see. Okay, so let's start first by doing the stamping. It's giving a little bit more when you're bringing these off, make sure you really pull right along. You don't want to rip anything off. Which I kind of did a little of that myself here. Okay. And get our crumb cake. Gonna ink that up and just do a little bit of accents along here. Do another one a little closer to that one. Do another one down here. There we are, some accents. This particular stamp is just a note, so I'll go ahead and get that. And we're going to use this little bit thinner one that still has the beautiful shading on it. We'll ink that up and stamp it. Just a note. Just a note to say hi, just a note to say I'm thinking of you. Just a note, it's been a long time. All sorts of things. Okay, so I've done that. Now it's time to get this beautiful greenery piece right here. Really careful pulling these pieces off. They're so delicate. And this is going to go underneath the gate. Oh, did you catch my error? I'm not sure if you did. I caught my error. This is where I was supposed to do the stamping of the green. Oh my goodness. Well, it's all right. The card has it as well. I think that's fine. Put these aside. So it was this one to put the the accents of the, I see. So this is going to go here. I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. If you have ordered this kit and you haven't started with it, maybe this will help you a little bit on how to put it together. It's showing that I'm going to be adhering this down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put this down first. I'm just going to grab my liquid glue. This strip panel right here is going to probably line up with the beautiful gold iron, the wrought iron gate. I love wrought iron. I have some patio furniture that is the beautiful black iron. I just love it. It's sturdy. You know, sometimes you go for patio furniture and I just think it's sometimes so much of it is so flimsy. I love just how strong the iron is. All right, so I'm going to put this down. on here, and I'm going to come pretty close to the bottom. In fact, I think I will go to the bottom edge, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that down. Then on this, I'm going to turn this over, and I think what it wanted you to do was to glue this to this, and then it would be right up against it, but I'm going to do it this way because I just think it's easier to do. I think trying to glue the greenery to this is just a little difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and then put my mini dimensionals to put this gate on. I'm going to come right to the edge and give, oops, not to see them. Going to make sure that's all across there. All right. And I think then the greenery would be pressed right up against the gate, and there wouldn't be a gap, but I'm really okay with that. We'll see how that looks on the dimension. Otherwise, you would want to, I guess, glue your greenery to the back of this, but I just think that might be a little difficult. So then I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And I think that still looks, ooh, that moved a little bit, and I still think that looks great. So then I'm going to go ahead and get these other flowers. These are the other flowers that go with this card. There's quite a few of them too. My goodness. All right, so we'll set those there. And again, you can do these cards however it works for you, but I know this is going to come right in here, and it's going to be raised with dimensional, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to glue it right there. I don't think it needs the dimensional. I think the gate being raised up as much as it is perfect. Now I think the flowers are going to work out really well because they're going to come in here and they're being glued to the front of the gate just like so, all around. So I'm going to go ahead and do just little glue on the flowers. And I think that's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue, little glue dots on these flowers. Where's my glue? There it is. And then that way they can glue right to the wrought iron fence. It's showing using dimensionals on all these little flowers, but I don't want to do that. I think the gate being raised up is plenty. I feel like raising up more is a little hard. So a little one right here. There we go. Another single one is going to kind of come right in here, but it needs to glue on that little iron piece. We have the 3 here, which I can bring over, and they're all going to glue now to that iron piece. And these are going to come up here and glue to the iron pieces right there. And then one more of the 3 is going to come right down in here. And those will glue. So I did the dots right in the center of the flowers. And that's perfect because they're lining up with, and there we are, just a note. Do you see how stunningly beautiful this is? Now if I had the greenery glued to the back of the gate, the flowers could also glue onto the greenery pieces. But I think that worked out just fine by putting the greenery down and then the gate on top. That is a stunning card. So my goodness, that's a good one, isn't it? I just think that's so beautiful. Okay, so let's set this one. Well, let's take a look at the two. So talk about beautiful little flowers there. I love the orange flowers. That's Calypso Coral. And I think this is Berry Burst flowers, if we're talking Stampin' Up! Colors. So now let's take a look at our last project of our kits. Two fabulous new kits. Card number 3. Oop, did I forget a little flower? I'll set that over there and see where that needs to go. So here is card number 3. Card number 3 has interesting things going on here. So first off, I'm going to be using this stunning piece right here. So let me carefully bring out this finely detailed die cuts. And notice that is the base, but then I have some other flowers that I'm going to put on top with mini glue dots. So let's go ahead and put those to the side. I actually could put those on right now before it's even adhered down. So I think I will do that. All right. So get that aside. Now on this card, it's going to go horizontal this way. And it wants me to do some stamping of the fence on the fence panels. Remember those panels I showed you at the beginning? I said, oh, I think I'm going to be doing some stamping on here, and I am. So here is our gate, and then here is the other side of the gate. So we'll see how that's going to go. Then there's also the posts right here. We need the posts, and then we need the hello. Good, okay. So do I have all my pieces? I believe so. Now, on these, I'm going to be stamping the fence. And I'm looking on here and it seems like I need more than what I have, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Okay, so I'll take this other stamp off. Let's get this inked up with our crumb cake. And I'm going to be stamping right over top. For that beautiful fence. That's fun. Didn't quite stamp right, but that's okay. And then I have it again on this piece. There we are, and then again on this piece. There we go. And then I think I need to do something on the posts. Doesn't look like it. Nope. All right. So now that I've done that, I'm going to turn these over like so, and we are going to be taping with our tear and tape, but I am just going to use my adhesive. All right. Dimensionals on our posts. Grab our minis. These are what are going to be raised up, and it helps to put them in the center of the posts. Oh. Keep our adhesive pieces away from our things here. So there's our post. Put our minis along the post. Get everything prepped and ready. I also need dimensionals on the hello sentiment. That's already stamped for me. I don't have to stamp that at all. Looks like the only stamping I had to do is I need one of these for thinking of you. It's the thinking of you today. It needs to be stamped on this. And then I have used all of the stamps in this stamp set as well from the other kit. So the thinking of you today, let me lay this down on my mat to keep it from not being warped, because that can happen with a skinny photopolymer. You can kind of warp it. Okay, move these up here. So thinking of you today. There we are. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down on the front of the card. My beautiful piece that I have right here. Okay, so I'm going to use, could use your tear and tape. I'm just going to use my adhesive here. On the back side, these pieces are big enough for me to add just a little bit of adhesive to hold them down. There we are. Okay, so this is going to go down all the way to the bottom. So we'll put that down. There we go. Now that is there. The next thing I'm going to do is to lay my fence. Oh, I see what it's going to do now. I get it, I get it. This is going to go all the way to the side here. Took me just a minute. That's going to go to the side there. And this one is going to come to the side here, and it's going to sit right underneath. Really? No. It's going to be right here. And then my post, it's coming to me now. Are you getting it too? Are you seeing what's going to happen? This post is going to go right here. This is going to open up and it's going to have the sentiment right here. Clever. Clever. So I'm going to put this right in the center right now. There we are. Thinking of you today. That's going to go down like so. You can clip it right underneath there a little bit. Then I need my other post. Then all we need to do is put our beautiful popped up flowers Oh, look at how sweet that is. Oh my goodness. Okay. Get our hello. That's going to go right here in the center. How about the one that's in English? I just had the Spanish one. And that's okay. The other thing I want to let you know with your kits, you know how the labels and things will come with different languages? I just call that another great piece. So I might not use the bonjour, but I can turn this over and now I have a little oval that I could stamp my own sentiment on and use it. So I think that's fabulous. All right, let's go ahead and put all these little dimensional pieces aside and let's bring in our pieces. I'm gonna flip them over. And remember, these are gonna pop up. It's gonna add a little bit like some things are going over the fence posts. You know how flowers will lay over across? It's gonna be great. So let's go ahead and get our little dimensional right in the center of things. Our little dimensionals are like the perfect size too for these little pop-ups. So this kit, Welcoming Garden, is such a beautifully designed kit. Stunning colored flowers. See how that's coming onto the fence post there? Our three little bursties here. Just gives it so much dimension. There we go. You can see just all that dimension that's happening now. And then we've got this beautiful one. This beautiful one's going to go right in the center here. And there we are. That is beautiful. And when you open it up, you've got that thinking of you today. And look at those beautiful, beautiful florals. So, so pretty. And there that is. I could have stamped these just a little bit better. They needed to come down a little bit so that it wasn't cut off at the top. But I think my wood paneling's not just quite, so I've got to pay attention to that. Oh my goodness. This Welcoming Garden kit, so, so beautiful. Let's check out the 3 cards there. And again, these all-inclusive ones that have the stamp sets, it has the dimensionals, your spot, your block for your stamps, the adhesive strips, has everything you need to create your beautiful, beautiful projects. And these 3 are just stunning. I'm having a hard time picking my favorite, but I think this first one is just so wonderful. And I can see having a piece of cardstock right here, which I will do that so I can put my note to somebody. But just all the dimension and all the floral work, I'm telling you right now, this is going to jump off the shelves. This is not going to stay in stock long. It'll be out of stock and you'll have to wait to get it. So I have a link below to go right to the kits. And I would highly recommend you go and check out the 2 brand new kits and then all the other kits. Again, I love these because they are quick, they're easy, but they look like $1,000,000. These are just stunning. The Maritime Moments one that we did first, wonderful for masculine cards and spring and summer. Just great. So check out the links below how you can get my free card kit for March. 4 fabulous dino cards that you'll get to create at the leisure in your home. I'll have prepped all the supplies for you and send them off to you. I have a blog post on that, so you can check that out. But hurry, that's only good till March 15th when you place your order with me to earn that kit. Card kit. I would suggest the links below to go to the Kits by Stampin' Up! And check out all the other online exclusives so you can start your crafting journey. Let me know on this kit, of the 2 kits, which did you like best? Did you like the Welcoming Garden kit, or did you like the Maritime Moments kit better? Which one? Are you a real floral-y kind of person, or are you more on the end of sailing and the summer beaches? I'd love to hear. So leave a comment if you would. Remember, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Why not subscribe? So you can be part of my crafting fun. And until next time, happy stampin'.